I believe we have dramatic news in Egypt.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Down goes Morsi! Down goes Morsi! The former president of Egypt now, Mohamed Morsi, has been overthrown. Depending on how you look at it, you can call it a coup. Certainly we did not get him, but the military of Egypt did, and even more accurately, the people of Egypt did. Crowds estimated at some points to be 14 million people, among the largest protests in human history. And the military had given a 48-hour ultimatum. Morsi didn't believe him. He was wrong. And then, when he was deposed, we had this moment in Tahrir Square. Tomorrow's 4th of July here in the United States of America. Well, they had 4th of July a little early. 3rd of July in Egypt. That was some real fireworks. And that was a real pyrotechnic show. I don't know if they consulted with Pink Floyd or a techno group. But man, that was some trippy fireworks there in Egypt. Bless their hearts, they were celebrating. And I am so relieved that it was not violent. Yes, of course, there were some people hurt throughout the protests, some people killed throughout the whole protest era. And overall, though, when the coup, if you want to call it that, wound up happening, well, the military was very, very careful about it. Mohamed Morsi now in an undisclosed location. Let me break it down for you in the last hours how this went down. First of all, the anti-Morsi protesters in Tahrir Square were chanting, "Leave, leave, leave, leave." The pro-Morsi protesters were chanting, "Will not happen, will not happen." And then the counter chant was, "Wrong again, Bob, wrong again, Bob." Okay, they didn't chant that, but it turns out they were wrong, the pro-Morsi supporters. Mohammed Badr, who's a spokesman for Tamarod, that's the group representing the young people that were leading this rebellion, said today is the day of decisiveness. And it turns out he was right. Now, the Army didn't just do this by themselves. The Defense Minister, General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, is of course the person who led this, but he consulted with Mohammed al-Baradei earlier in the day. He's a leading reform advocate, of course, well known internationally. Al-Azhar Sheikh Ahmed al-Tayeb is Egypt's top Muslim cleric. He was also part of the proceedings, and the Coptic leader, Pope Tawadros II, was also consulted. And then they began to take action. First of all, the pro-Morsi supporters were surrounded by the military, and they said, look, if there's violence, the military will have to react significantly. And so far, the reports we're getting here as this is all happening is that there has not been significant violence. Again, a great relief. Meanwhile, they told several of the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood, you are not to go anywhere. Mohamed Morsi, of course, is on the top of the list, but they also told Mahdi Akef, that's the former leader of the Brotherhood, do not leave Egypt. Mohammed Beltagi, I should say, senior Brotherhood figure, Safwat Hegazi, a Salafi preacher, and Abu El-Mahdi, leader of the Islamist Wasat Party, were all told, you are not free to go. Stay where you are. Something is afoot. And then General Sisi stepped up and said this.
The head of the Constitutional Court shall take the running of the country during this transitional period until a new president is elected. The head of the Constitutional Court has the authority to give declarations during this transitional period and to form a technocrat government with capabilities who can have all the powers to run this transitional period.
Basically, al-Sisi telling Morsi, let my people go. And then, no, but you know what? Hold! You don't need the American version. Here's the Egyptian version again. Man, that's a sight for sore eyes. Now that's a protest movement. Now later, I think whenever there's any protest movement anywhere in the world, people will ask, well, is it strong? Is it Egypt strong? Now that was a strong, strong protest movement. In 2.5 years, Egypt does it again. They bring down another government that was not serving the people. Remember, they had changed the constitution and disbanded part of the parliament. Well, now the military has stepped in and said the Islamist amended constitution is gone. The Islamist-led leftover parliament gone. We will have early elections. So that we're going to have an interim government and then elections as soon as possible. So who's the new leader? From that tech show you just saw there, a lot of the techno stuff going on, you'd think maybe it was Mali. But no, we do not have President Mali. We now have President Adel Mansour. He is the Supreme Constitutional Court Deputy Chief Justice, and he is the new President of Egypt. Now, if it was just the military taking over, then obviously there wouldn't be celebration in the streets from the people protesting for democracy and to lead Egypt as their Egypt. But in fact, of course, we will have early elections, we will have a new government, and possibly a new president, of course, after all the process has gone forward. So once again, the people of Egypt, you are impressive. I mean, the rest of the world looks up to you in how you have really seized power for the people. Now, when we think people power going forward, we're going to think Egypt.